Realities are based on notion structures, which have been created through repetitive thought patterns. Mind creates things. The whole lot is clearly ideal. Then, that path is likewise that isn't always, as we do no longer desire to maintain the research through suffering. Ultimately, struggling is important until it not is. To transcend this, we must first of all absolutely accept, love, and understand that all we've got experienced throughout many existences has been a divine order underlying its introduction and unfoldment. We cannot alternate whether till we haven't completely frequented and loved the journey for what it turned into, inclusive of the colossal struggling we've skilled. We got here to analyze through experience, for we desire to recognize for ourselves and no longer simply be informed. It's our human belief and polarized way of perceiving reality that judge things as exact or horrific. Ultimately, all just is and has an underlying perfection to it, as soon as we've got come to peer the perfection of all of it. We then can exchange and shift our realities to those which might be fun in nature and do not create struggling as we recognize what serves us and what doesn't. Because the way we assume and perceive the world changes, we then actually should follow those shifts in the form of modified behaviors also. But first of all, we ought to make peace with ourselves, our journey and all of the creation. We cannot change that which we resist and choose. In reality, see that all turned into necessary for us to come back to our genuine self, our personal precise essence, again, to divine love of self and all of Advent. Know a lot of us have felt like the manifestation of what we labored so hard for to be imminent for some time now, that we can't even agree with it hasn't befell yet. Remember, this is a co-creation. We aim with our arrow, but the rest is up to the wind. If we want collective managed energies to dissolve, then we ought to do this within ourselves first. We are the alternate by being the change. Dropping cherished ones is never easy. In the days, weeks, and even years that observe a person's transition from this existence to the next, it is natural to need some form of sign that our cherished ones are in a few way nevertheless with us. Receiving signs from deceased cherished ones is called after-death communication, and within the book From Heaven. Studies show that upwards of few of Americans have felt a few shape of conversation with loved ones after their loss of life. Signs from spirit may be deeply private and might come in a lot of ways that can be unexpected, profound, or maybe smooth to miss. The important thing to noticing signs out of your deceased loved ones is to increase your attention for your everyday existence. It is no longer about seeking to make signs from spirit show up. Rather, simply being receptive and open to what is taking place inside the present moment creates an area and commencing from spirit to reach you. Openness is prime for receiving conversation beyond the physically. Let go of all ultimate want to manipulate it is still held on your frame, because the want to manipulate comes from a worry that things are not precisely how they are speculated to be, so we strive to govern and impact the outcome. That is also about us really believing in that God has our back, and ultimately the whole thing is absolutely rigged in our favor. I understand it does not often appear that way. Why could He permit such suffering? I started the exercises fiercely struggling in opposition to unconditional, a word I considered impossible. I thought I needed to be perfect to be cherished. Now, God was beginning the journey of the game with me with an unrelenting statement of unconditional love for me. Recuperation, my blindness started through the filter of my weakness, and there was no place to hide. With endurance and gentleness, the Spirit led me to peer God's love in my frequently rocky history and to feel it, call it, and finally give up to the truth that I'm God's beloved infant, just as I am. He desired me to see and internalize the substance of my life with all of the humans, places, and events, successes and disasters that added me to this moment with Jesus. I wrote journals filled with memories requiring prayerful attention. Then, tears of sorrow and relief flowed until I could no longer deny the fact that I used to be not alone. God has supported me through countless those who come just in time. Inside the vase of all that humbling, unconditional love, how would I not live the amazing commandment? I love God with my whole heart, soul, thoughts, and strength.